Hey guys, thanks for coming to the channel. Today we're going to talk about smart homes, specifically smart home essentials. Smart homes are all the rage right now, and there's a lot of people out there right now that just don't know where to start. Maybe you're looking at some devices, maybe you've purchased a couple of devices, or maybe you've just seen some of those studies like the Gartner one that came out a little while ago that said there's going to be 50 billion of these devices sold over the next 4 years. That's a lot of devices, and a lot of people need some help in terms of figuring out where to start. So today's video, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to cover off the beginning stages of having a smart home, and then in future videos I'm going to cover off the devices, and then after that, how to take your game to the next level through automation. A lot of people ask me, what's the first thing that they should consider when they're buying a smart home device? And I'd say it's not so much the device that you're buying at this point, it's actually what are you putting the device on? A lot of people overlook the fact that they have a network in their house that might be inefficient. I have your typical traditional house. So I have a normal size house. We have a telecom provided router, which is a Wi-Fi router, and to be honest, the coverage is okay. It's not great, but there's definitely some holes in the coverage. So we'll find on corners of the house it doesn't work very well. Out near the garage it doesn't work very well. And for day-to-day use it was okay. But once I started to move into the smart home space, I quickly discovered that actually became an issue for me because I had devices that wouldn't stay connected, or they were dropping off or doing weird things. So the first thing I would recommend to somebody who's looking at a smart home is to consider, what's the wireless network that I'm on today? For me, it was a simple replacement. I went out and I purchased this. You can buy different versions of this. Google makes one. There's a number of companies that produce them, and they're coming out more and more frequently right now. And basically it's a mesh network. So essentially what that means for you, if you're just getting into the technology, is that beside your current router, you plug this thing in. It produces the wireless signal for your area around where the router was, and then somewhere else in the house you deploy what they call a satellite. So the satellite actually connects back to the main one, and the two work together, creating a bigger mesh network, they call it, in your house. So it increases coverage, speed, and reliability. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the wireless piece itself. I would say you probably already know if you have good or bad wireless in your home. I know for us it was very easy to tell. We'd go to certain corners of the house and it would just drop off. Or if I'd go to the garage, it wouldn't work out there. And those are areas where I thought, okay, in the future I might want to add cameras, light bulbs, who knows. But like, if I can't get coverage right now, how's that going to work? Not very well. So we went out and we fixed the Wi-Fi problem. Lots of solutions out there. You just need better coverage, and a mesh network works very well with that. Moving on to step 2. I'd say this is probably one of the most fun pieces to it, and it is also one of the pieces I think you'll like the best later on once you start getting your devices. And this is the brains of the operation as far as I'm concerned, and it's a good starting point because it's a fairly inexpensive appliance. This one here is the Samsung Smart Hub. It's about $100. It's very small. It's just a little box like that. And what that device does is it connects to your network directly, and it allows you to add devices to it. So essentially, as you're buying things for your home, like light bulbs and light switches, and you want to turn the TV on and off and all those different things, all of them can unify into this one device through software, and it allows you to have control over rooms now. So it's not just you know, you can turn a light off and on with the app that was provided from that company. You'll have the ability to turn on off your lights, lock your doors, turn your TV on or off, all through rule-based automation. So in later videos, I'm going to really dig in deep on how to make this really work for you. But as a starting point, if you're just in the market space now to start buying some things, I would consider getting that first, so that as you're setting yourself up, you've laid the groundwork. As you're bringing on these new devices, they're already going into this hub, and over time you're going to build this smart home out, because smart home's not cheap. That's the one thing you'll probably know, is that as looking at these things, all these devices cost a fair amount of money, and it's probably going to take you time to buy what you want to buy and then deploy it all. So good starting point is to have the hub. So for today's video, I'm going to show you a little more around the hub and how it works. Setting up Smart Hub is a very easy process. What you're going to find is out of the box, it's going to have a couple of spots on the back of the actual device. One is for your network cable that's going to connect to your router. The other is going to be a power outlet cord. Once you're done that, that's a fairly straightforward process. You're going to go into your iOS or Android store. You're going to look for the Samsung SmartThings app and you're going to download it. Once you download the app, you're going to install it. It'll have a few spaces there for your credentials that they're going to want you to enter in to create your account. Once that's done, it'll actually spit you out here at the dashboard. This is sort of the overview of your system. It's going to show you a couple of your favorite things on there, like your routines. Out of the box, they give you some routines to work with, such as good morning, goodbye, I'm back, and good night. All of those have different rule sets and can apply different things to each one of them, which we'll go into in a little bit of detail shortly. You also have the ability to make some of your own things favorites, which I've done here with our front door lock. And then if you scroll down, you see what happens in different scenarios. So it's a smart home monitor as well. So as you're adding devices, you can have things like door sensor monitors, alarms, that sort of thing on here. And when you do different routines and different things within the device and the app, it'll allow you to arm or disarm the system so that when you leave, it's intelligent enough to know that you're away and to arm the system. So lots of different things to configure here. With the app itself, if you click the top three dots on the right, you can manage your favorites, rearrange your icons, rearrange cards, or even choose a wallpaper for the background. On the left, you get to choose, there's some status here. It'll tell you if your hub's online. It'll give you notifications. So if you click that, you can see what's happened over the last little while, and it gives you a very detailed log of what it's been doing. You can manage users, so if you have a spouse, you can add your spouse to this, or kids, you can add your kids to it. Gives you some device health, some account information, and support, and so on. At the bottom, you're going to see the different categories. So we're going to move on to your home. This is essentially where you load in all of your devices. So this is my house right here. You can see all the lights that we've added. There's my wife's cell phone, so it keeps a presence. So as we're driving close to the house, it knows that we're getting home. It can turn on lights, unlock doors, things like that. You can add in all of your light switches and panels, those sorts of things. There's lots of things in my list right now that are in here and working. If you want to add more things, you have the ability to with the plus signal in the top right, or at the bottom where it says add a thing. So this would be if you're starting out what you'd want to do first. You'd click the add a thing button. It's going to look for devices. Typically you would just add the device manually, and you'd want the device near the actual Smart Hub. And here's all the different categories. There's lots of them. There's a lot of different devices you can purchase. Not all of them have to be Samsung. Lots of different things here. But say, for example, you wanted to put a doorbell on here. I could take the Skybell HD video doorbell. I click that, and it's going to initialize that doorbell into the system. And then at that point, I can create routines around the doorbell and how it's going to work and function in the environment. Very easy process. Most of the devices so far that I've used have gone in very simply and easily. You get to the SmartThings Labs. The SmartThings Labs are the pieces like Wemo switches, a couple of other different devices that work on the system that haven't been, I guess, officially approved through the app like some of the other devices, but I have Wemo switches and they work fine on this system. And there's some other ones as well. So this is just the way to add all the devices into your Smart Hub. Very easy process, and there's a lot of devices, as you can see. So once you're done that, at that point you can actually categorize all these devices into rooms. So at the top you see rooms. I've created rooms around my house. So we have the front hall, dining room, TV room, kitchen, and each one of those rooms has the different devices that's located in that room within that category. And you'll see that here. So here's my office. So I have 6 Hue lights in the ceiling here, and all of those are in the office. So that makes it really easy to keep track of and also to manage. In here you can give your room a name. You can rearrange these things. You can take them out. You can even add a photo for the room just as a thumbnail so you can see easily at a glance where everything is. Once rooms are done, you can create scenes, and scenes are the ability to do a number of things at one time. So outside lights on, my daughter's room light is on, hall light switch, upstairs dining room light switch is on, and these are very customizable, and you can add devices and take them away and so on. My favorite part of the app is the actual automation at the bottom. These are the routines. Like I said, out of the box, it comes with a number of routines which are very intelligent. So when you want to say, for example, good night, if I click this button at night, it's going to shut off my outside lights, hall lights, my daughter's light in her room, upstairs dining room, and it's also going to set the home monitor to armed and home, so it knows we're home and arms it. And then at the bottom, it's going to make sure that the front door is locked. So those are all things that you can do, and you can activate them in different ways. As you can see here, what do you want to happen? What switches do you want to turn on or off? And it's very customizable from that standpoint. This one's probably my favorite one. This is the I'm Back feature. So with SmartThings, it has the ability to do geofencing. And geofencing is essentially, it knows the presence of my smartphone. So as I'm driving down the street coming towards my house, it knows that I'm almost home. It turns on my outside lights, the hall light switch, and it'll actually unlock the door. So if I have a handful of groceries as I'm walking into the house, I can just wheel right into the house without any issues. I like that a lot. I've also set up some rules through automation after the fact so that the door will automatically lock after 10 minutes. So that covers off today's video, and I hope that helped you guys. I really wanted to make a video that was, a starting point for people who are new into this, and then I'm going to build on that. So for future, you're going to be able to figure out now what to put on your smart hub, on your wireless network, so that you can start taking advantage and really making your home a smart home. So if you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them for me. If you think there's something I need to look at or I forgot, by all means mention it. And stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy the next couple of videos. Thanks. Cheers.